two young women begin the first of many trips to gather water for their family. In the town of El Chile, people have collected water this way for as long as anyone can remember. It will take several trips to collect enough for the rest of the day, and tomorrow, it all starts over.
In El Chile, the problem there is based more on the labor involved in carrying water. So there's a spring that's significantly lower than the village, and they have to walk down there, pretty significant difference every day, and carry water back up from the spring. People will generally start getting water at 3:30 or 4 in the morning. And they get it in these, as you can see, these what are called cantros, which are these 6.6 gallon buckets, and they weigh about 50 pounds each. There's quite a bit of labor every day involved in getting water.
Higher up the mountain, in the town of La Laguneta, people gather water right in the village.
The higher you go up, the harder time you're going to have finding groundwater, generally speaking. We have a little bit of shallow groundwater here, and that's basically it. If we wanted to go to something deeper, we'd have to go 400 or 500 meters into the ground to try to get into any other type of aquifer.
Yo tengo 52 años.
I'm 52 years old, and my entire life we have had problems in respect to the location of our water. It's the rainy season now, and there's plenty of water for washing dishes and for doing the laundry. But during the 6-month dry season, the wells sometimes dry up, and villagers have a hard time finding water.
Our purpose here is to help develop these communities so that they have self-sufficient and sustaining source of water year-round.
0.20.
The Colorado State University chapter of Engineers Without Borders has been working for several years now in both towns high up on the side of the inactive San Vicente volcano.
The mission of the project is to help people improve their quality of life by simply not having to spend so much time getting water. It takes a really big part of their day, and it's time consuming, and so if they can eliminate that, I think they're going to be able to have a lot more opportunities to do other things.
I guess one of the main challenges in La Laguneta would just be the actual technical aspect of trying to find a solution that works here. Since we're so high up in this volcano and there's really so little water available, and the characteristics of the soil and stuff are so variable, it's really hard to find a well or anything that will really work as a sustaining system for the village of La Laguneta.
In El Chile, the challenge has been to eliminate the long haul up and down the path to gather water.
We're currently putting in a pipeline from the spring down in El Chile up to a tank that's a little bit higher than the center of the village, and then we're putting just a few centrally located taps in the center of the village, so that the villagers don't have to spend so much time going down every day and carrying water up.
In years past, we have carried the water in cantros on top of our heads, all the way up from the bottom of the spring, so it is a lot easier just getting it from the center of town.
They don't have a lot of social time to just kind of relax, because they come from work to doing clothes, to doing dishes, to cooking, and such a big part of the day, such a tedious part, is getting the water. I think it'll mean a ton to them. It's gonna just improve their lives on a daily basis, because coming down here to get water is just tough.
About 60 villagers show up to help bury the new pipeline.
Whenever we need a lot of people, they seem to come out of the woodwork like ants. It's really important to involve the community at every step of the way, and to get them to take ownership of the system. I mean, what we always say to them, this is your system that we're installing, and so they do all of the work. We make sure that they're involved in the decision-making process every step of the way.
I was happy with the project because I was happy to work with everyone, and it went a lot faster when we all worked together.
This is a very central location. That's why they chose this. The community actually chose the location.
Keith Thompson, a professional hydrogeologist, is here on his own to serve as an advisor.
We're really lucky to have Keith. He's really helped us try to figure out solutions that we can help these villages with, and played a very important role as a mentor here for the students.
While finding enough water can be difficult, it's an even bigger challenge to clean up the water.
Water quality was a huge issue. When I first got results, these guys had been here taking a water sample. I looked at the chemical results and said, wow, this is great water, what's the problem? Then I flipped the page over and saw the bacteriological results was water that you really wouldn't want to stick your hand in if you had a cut on it.
Health hazards from contaminated water include hepatitis, giardia, and salmonella. Diarrhea alone kills almost 2 million people per year, and many of those deaths are infants.
The problem with the well water here probably originates from the fact that we have 750 or so people living in a very small catchment area. Almost every family has a pit latrine. We've got farm animals loose everywhere, and we've got a very shallow aquifer. All the waste filters down into the aquifer, and then we've got shallow wells taking that water directly out of the ground.
We all had gastrointestinal problems. We realized that the state we were in was because our water deposits were completely contaminated. Later, we made a tank, and we could all see that we had less bacteria. Now we don't have such a bad problem. With Keith's help, the group drilled 2 new wells in La Laguneta and rebuilt the water tank.
What we've done here is we've refinished this tank, which used to have just tin roof on it, and it was leaking. It was not clean, and as well as we put a chlorination system on the other side there, and so that they can have clean chlorinated water in this tank.
Since we installed the chlorination system, we have seen the amount of bacteria greatly diminished. There's no wastewater system in either town, so gray water runoff from the dishes and the laundry has become a concern.
It's a problem around this community because it is just discharged into the street. So everyone is exposed to whatever contaminants and bacteria are in it. The Peace Corps worker and Engineers Without Borders, CSU, have been working very hard on trying to get each family to construct a gray water system that consists of a 55-gallon barrel with a lot of 3/8-inch diameter holes drilled into it. You bury that in the ground, fill it with sand, let your gray water flow into that, and then that sand filters the gray water, the holes let it discharge out. It basically keeps it off of the surface, and it filters it a little bit before it gets actually into the native soil. One example of a well-implemented gray water system is a gentleman over across the street here that has buried one of the barrels. He's constructed a wash facility to wash the laundry, wash the dishes, and everything is fixed to drain into the barrel.
It means a better quality of life for their kids. It means their kids are less sick. They understand where diarrhea comes from, and diarrhea is very dangerous in kids, so it means a lot.
We're trying to get an idea of the lay of the streets for a possibility of doing a distribution system.
Ryan and Amanda are gathering data for a future distribution system to deliver water to other parts of La Laguneta that are still far from the water tank.
Put a tank up by the cemetery on top of the hill, one of the higher points of the community, and do gravity-fed distribution to the city. There'll be multiple taps around town at key locations. As we go, we kind of pick out locations of possible taps, possible tap locations.
Amanda and Christine Sednick organize a lesson on planting seeds and developing gardens. The new water delivery system will free up more time so people can pursue other interests. Using this time to grow healthy vegetables for their families cultivates self-esteem throughout the community.
We gave altitude seeds that the Fort Collins Nursery donated for us, and it was really fun to teach them and just be able to give them something like that, and they were all really excited, and we had a great turnout, and it was really fun.
And I think it's also a great source for women as far as like a self-esteem thing, that they can actually, maybe they can't find jobs, maybe they're not educated, maybe they got pregnant when they were 16 and they're just kind of stuck in this life. But God, you can grow a garden for your kids. Anyone can do that, and we'll teach you how.
I think being able to be down here is very rewarding, because people down here live so completely differently than we're used to. So being able to A, live like they do, and B, interact with them and understand them on their level. Like, I mean, I have friends in the community here, you know, we've developed relationships, and so being able to have that type of relationship and them like really being happy that we're here and them being excited when we come back is a really awesome feeling.
In El Chile, the pipeline is finished, but there's still no power to the pump. Gabe discovers that the price to run power lines down to the pump below town has doubled.
And then I was just told now that that was wrong, and then it's actually going to be about $850, which basically we don't have any money for. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with that.
The Fort Collins Rotary Club arranged funding for this project, and the students turn to them once again for help. Additional funds are secured, and the power lines will soon be finished. But today, the storage tank above has filled with rainwater, and everyone celebrates the opening of the new taps. It will be a huge benefit, because before we had people walking 300 to 800 meters to get water, and now we have the pump almost directly in the center of town. It is a huge benefit to the community because it is so much closer.
One of our biggest challenges has been actually trying to find money for the projects. Right now we've been pretty lucky to work with the Rotary Club. They've been one of our main supporters for the project.
It's very important because the project has to be sustained by itself and the community. But if the community needs another supply, some repair, we have to be in contact with the community and look for help as they need.
Photos are snapped and memories are preserved. All the students feel lucky to have been in this beautiful country to serve and to learn.
This is great to be able to use my skills to implement simple solutions to relatively complex problems, but being able to be able to use such limited knowledge and real world experience to help people is pretty cool.
The land, the culture, and the scenery here are very different, and for students from Fort Collins, Colorado, the experiences are breathtaking.
It's gorgeous here. Being able to be down here and experience it so much, and being able to take in everything for what it is really an amazing experience.
Honestly, I just really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun to just come down here and work with these communities and stay in these villages that are on the side of the volcano. They're gorgeous, and to really know that you can be making a difference in these people's lives is really I think what does it for me.
For me, it's been a wonderfully uplifting experience. The students that I've been working with are dedicated, intelligent, and the thing that has really impressed me about it is almost universally, all the students that have gone on a first trip have come back saying, you know, this involvement has changed my life permanently. I'll never see my life the same as, and the rest of the world, the same as I did before.
They bring a lot of hope to the people. So yeah, I think the people love them here, and it's been a great source of hope and inspiration.
The villagers have a saying that really hits home.
The people told us one of the times we were down there, the villagers in El Salvador, is in Spanish they said, confiamos en Dios y confiamos en ustedes, which means we trust in God and we trust in you guys. So it puts a lot of responsibility on us to really, make a difference in these people's lives.
Agradecer pues
I am very pleased with Engineers Without Borders. I want to thank them for all of their work on this project because it has greatly helped our entire community. The people who have helped have been very kind.
Yo soy muy agradecida porque si no hubiera sido...
I would like to thank everyone very much because without your help, we wouldn't have been able to do this.